Hi, it's Marina the Soul Alchemist. It's time for Pick Your Own Card Weekly Guidance for the 23rd to the 29th of September. So we are in the equinox energies. We have just stepped out of that full moon in Pisces. And of course, we're still in these eclipse season. So there's lots going on. And my word, we have got a beautiful, powerful week this week. So I'm using the Akashic Oracle card deck, which is a modality in a box. This is the deck that I have created. This is the deck that I use, which is your physical portal to the Akashic records to connect with that beautiful ancient etheric realm to bring knowledge, wisdom, insights, guidance, and transformation through. And so if you've not picked your card, let's first of all tune in. So if you want to tune into cards 1, 2, or 3, I'm going to reveal the messages, themes, and energies supporting you over the next 7 days. And bonus card is relationships. So this, I think, relationships with yourself primarily. This is the message that I get with the card. And when we have this beautiful relationship with ourselves, then it's the energy of this card then filters into your other relationships anyway. So it's like the happy byproduct of this connection with yourself and bringing this element, bringing this aspect into your life. So why is this exciting? It's exciting because obviously we're still in the equinox energies, which is where we've got that equal balance of light between daylight and kind of like nighttime, daytime, nighttime. Whether you're in the northern or the southern hemisphere, obviously you've got spring equinox if you're in the southern, in the south, and it's northern, we're going into autumn equinox. So for us, we've kind of got this balance. So it's about balance and really kind of just noticing where where you can bring more balance into your experience, bring that kind of like alignment. For me, there's a little bit of a reset energy in here as well with getting that balance. It's like really looking at the things that don't give you balance and where we can releasing those, doing less of those things. It's also a time for harvest if we are in the autumn equinox, because from a physical perspective, that's what we will be doing. We will be kind of like celebrating the fruits of our labor, the fruits of the seasons, and we have all of that kind of bountiful harvest that all comes together, and it's all these beautiful foods. And it was one of the times, I mean, I'm not religious and I was never brought up religious, but I did used to go to Sunday school just because I really enjoyed, especially at harvest time, being in that space and looking at all the food, all the fruits and all the vegetables that people would bring in that they've been growing, and all of these beautiful breads and stuff. And it was like a feast that you can imagine, like in an Enid Blyton book. And it was just, oh my God, like the colours and the smells. And it was just like, I don't know what actually happened to the food. I don't remember ever getting any of it. But I used to just look at it and just love looking at it because it was just so colourful and just, yeah, really, really juicy. So we get to, from an energetic perspective and an intentional goals perspective, to start to see some fruits of our kind of energy and where we've been putting our focus and our time. Around this time with the autumn equinox, we get to see all of that as well. And then we get to prepare to go into winter if we're in the northern hemisphere as well. So it's a period of starting to go into deeper cycles of self-reflection. So that's kind of this autumn equinox. And so the cards that we have here really reflect that process. So for me, it's a very empowering time. This is a really empowering week if we choose it to be an empowering week. It's how we approach it. And this is very much a personal journey again, as these cards normally are, or the way that I read these cards. And so if you've picked card 1 as your main card, again, I would encourage you to listen to all 3 or all 4 cards. But if you've picked main card 1 as your main focus, it's the vows of poverty. But again, I don't pick up on the poverty aspects here. It's the blank sheet of paper. It's this ability to write a new story, a new chapter, new beginnings. new things coming in. So autumn equinox, you know, it's just a perfect time of, I'm doing my reflection. I'm ready to kind of prepare for this next phase. You know, I'm celebrating everything that I've achieved and experienced. Amazing. But what is next? And so if you've picked card 1 as your main card, and I would say if you're coming back to listen to this and you've listened to a couple of other cards first, this is about what do you want to do on this next chapter, because it's entirely up to you from an intentional and an energetic and action space. This you have the power to create your reality. And I know that's a sweeping statement, and we have, you know, normally it's an inside job, we know that, and then the outside is a reflection of the inside. And so that might be the case. It might be that, okay, I've had enough of feeling this way or being at the mercy of this particular circumstance or situation or relationship, or my health being like this, or the planetary energies kind of really impacting and affecting me. What can you do to support you to navigate those times, or to step out of that narrative, or to be able to connect in with those elements of fulfillment, contentment, bliss, whatever, in a faster way? We're not going to get rid of all of the kind of like the challenging parts of our life. We know that. But it's how we respond to them, not react. How do we respond? How do we move forward? How do we, if it's a, like I say, if it's a karmic lesson, you know, a spiritual growth lesson, how am I gonna actually work with this now, rather than kind of being at the mercy of it? I'm ready to work with it. I'm ready to move through it. I'm ready to learn the growth that's within that, and to, you know, gain that wisdom that it brings. So this is about new chapters, new beginnings, something new coming into your experience. But just know that you may not have all of the detail of that new thing. You are in the driver's seat, as it were, to actually experience it in the way that you want to experience it. You do have choice. You do have free will. We're not at the mercy of other people, unless it's a life-death situation. We're not at the mercy of other people. Of course, there's lots of fear and lots of stories that we build around why we feel that we need to stay in things or be in things or whatever it might be. But we don't have to be at the mercy of external things. We need to be focusing on the internal and making those shifts there, so then we see the shifts on the external. So new chapters are coming through there. So let me know how that card resonates. Let me know what your new chapter is. You might have an idea already of what you've already started to maybe explore and connect with, or it might be something that's completely out of the blue that pops in this week. So let me know in the comments what that might be, or if it happens later on in the week, come back and please do pop a comment in. I would love to see that. So new chapters for all of us, but in particular for those that have picked that as the main card. You know, you've got this new chapter. You are in the driver's seat to write how you want that story to unfold. Always remember that. So let me know how the card resonates, and if you want to go deeper, then please do reach out for a one-to-one session with me, or you can get your own oracle card deck, or even better, jump into the certification, which starts on the 10th of the 10th, so the 1010 portal. We've got the certification, an accredited certification, 12-week journey of going through this deck in detail, so that you come away feeling really confident with how to actually read this deck in a really like beautiful, inspired way, lots of different ways, but also different ways to activate the karmic healing, and what kind of karmic healing you can do with each of these cards. There's going to be so much in the certification. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so card 2. you've picked card 1, or if you've picked card 2, please go back and listen to card 1. That's going to be the foundational piece. And it really helps to set the stage for card 2, which is past lives. Now, for me, what I really get with this card is this shutting of doors and allowing new doors to open, which when we think we're writing a new chapter, a new story, stepping into a new space, doing something new, something that's inspirational, or something actually that might feel challenging, but you know, long term, it's a long game, that the rewards, the fruits of that focus and that choice will come further down the line. Sometimes we don't always get the gratification right at the very beginning, and that actually can be hard. That's especially if we're trying to change a particularly challenging habit or pattern of behavior. There is no instant gratification usually at the beginning. That takes a lot of like mindset and reminding ourselves, what's the bigger why am I doing this, what is the long-term gain, because the long-term game will be there, but it's a harder game to play. Anyway, I've gone off track. So closing doors, opening, closing some doors that are not supportive of this new chapter and the writing of this new story, which then enables you to have new doors open. We can't have all of the doors generally open from an energetic perspective, just because we maybe don't have the bandwidth energetically to cope with all the doors open. And not all of those doors are meant to be open, because we've come to the end of the line, end of the road, end of the chapter, and we've got everything that we've needed. So we don't need to keep the door open, because that will be an energetic drain also. So you're going to find this week that there's going to be focuses on maybe completing some things, which fits in with the Pisces full moon anyway, end of cycles, end of patterns, end of relationships, end of projects, completion energy. And then what you get is new doors, new ideas, new threads of inspiration, maybe new people and opportunities that are able then to make themselves known. So it's all about timing. So you've got this beautiful clock here. So it is divine timing in terms of these doors opening. So if you're kind of like sat there thinking, God, I would really like these new opportunities and things to land, and I'm doing all of these things and things, it's just, I'm just not getting any traction and things are just not happening. Know that, well, what I would get you to do is just reflect on, do I have all of the necessary doors closed? Or are there still some things in my experience that I've kind of got the door half open, because there's a part of me that maybe just doesn't want to shut it fully, just in case I was wrong, or just in case, whatever, insert the excuse, insert whatever it is that you may be telling yourself. So there might be just a couple of things or one thing that you've not fully, now, and that could be physically, energetically, so you might need to do some cord cutting. But if there's a part of you that is just like, there's this glimmer of like, oh, I'll just keep this person in my phone just in case, they call me back, or maybe you're just doing something that's slightly out of integrity because there's a fear or something underneath that. That's the thing that you want to shut, because then another opportunity will come in. So just have a little kind of a recce of your experience and just see, have I got all the doors shut? And what is really good from a decluttering perspective is if you've got anything that's connected maybe with old jobs, like really clothes that you've kept on, hoping that that you were going to fit into them at some point, or there's like things that you've hung on to that one day you might feel that you might use them, or you're going to pass them on to somebody, whatever it might be. They can also be things that perhaps can be recycled, let go of, because they are using energetic space as well. physical space and energetic space. So what doors can you close for new doors to open? And we want the new doors to open because remember, you're rewriting this new chapter, or you're writing this new chapter, and you want to do it from a place that feels clean and pristine. So let me know how that card resonates. Let me know if you want to have a one-to-one session, which will include a 3-month forecast, but also Akashic record clearing. So we do some karmic clearing in your Akashic records to support you with moving forward in the most aligned way over the next 3 months, with the course obviously seeing what energies and what things are going on for you as well. Okay, so card 3. So this is the final piece. So we're kind of, some of it's kind of decluttering, some of it's kind of like thinking, taking action, thinking about what it is that you need to close, thinking about the things that you want to actively kind of step into for your new chapter. But who do you need to be in order to do that? So this third card is a little bit like an identity shift. And interestingly, it is the first card of the deck. So it's number 1. It's I. It's me. So it's power play. And so this for me is, what do I need to cut cords with in terms of my old identity that doesn't serve and support me? And this might be just the one thing for now. So where can I build more confidence around me, stepping into my gifts in a bigger way, or changing this, habit around, say, drinking. I want to maybe stop drinking altogether, but there's a fear around the people that I might lose, the friendships that, I might lose, the opinions, the judgments that I might get just because I'm not doing that same thing as everybody else. How is that going to impact? How is that going to change? All of those things would be coming up. But in order to do that, you have to have slightly different identity in order to carry that change off and to really fully embody it. So you need to have perhaps that mindset, that strong mindset of like self-love and like devotion to yourself, and knowing that the bigger picture, the long game, is going to have you feeling more energized, skin looking better, perhaps losing some weight because you're not drinking as much, being able to really kind of connect with those parts of you that maybe you've been numbing out on, and starting to understand why that is. There's all of these different things that can be opened up by making a simple change, but there's an identity shift that is required, because who you want to become and what you want to experience cannot come from the same person, because the person that got you to this place now can't continue in that same vein, because that habit or that pattern or whatever it might be for you has to be left in the past. It has to be released. And so that can also bring, that in itself is kind of like, there can be a little bit of maybe a grieving process, a bit of a mourning for that, but it's always remembering the long game and why you're choosing to do that, and knowing that you're not at the mercy of other people's circumstances or external circumstances. You are here to make choice, to be in your power, to cut whatever those perceived cords are, so that you can fully stand in your power. You're not at play to anything else. And that play can be mindset. It can be, as I say, circumstances, fears. So what little identity tweak do you need in order to step into your new chapter, to have these new doors open? And that could be just being more optimistic each day. That's my change. That's my shift. Or notice when I'm going into perhaps negative thoughts, negative vibes. And this is not about being like positive all of the time, but it's just being more aware about yourself and having more of a noticing what the spiral is, and then what can you do to bring yourself a little bit more out of it and see it from the other side and be more optimistic. That in itself could have massive ripples and change in your experience. So power play. What identity shift do you need to move forward? So the final card is relationships, mainly relationship with yourself, as I said earlier. But when we have this relationship, this aspect within ourselves, it ripples out, and people then can't help be in that vibe also. So it's a little bit like, you know, when somebody starts to randomly laugh and they just have that infectious giggle or cackle or whatever it might be, and then other people start to laugh and they don't know what the person's laughing at, but it's just like, oh my god, that's just funny, because it's funny because they're laughing and I don't know why they're laughing, but I'm now finding it funny. So then this laugh just kind of ripples out. This is a little bit like that, and it's fun and joy. So the relationship with yourself, the relationship bonus card this week is to seek out more fun and joy. So the thing that I would also encourage with all of the cards this week, but your new chapter, your new opportunities and doors, the new identity, ensure, if you can, that it has an aspect of fun and joy within it, that you're seeing the lighter side of life, you're infusing fun and joy, pleasure, happiness, contentment, fulfillment, frivolity, silliness. It's bringing that inner child, the magical child, into your experience. So that's where the relationships are. And it might be for you this week that you need to connect in more with your inner child, to connect in with that aspect, to bring that element through, or go and just do some things that feel fun for you and just be carefree, let go a little bit. But make sure with this week, because this is all about new chapters, new beginnings, that fun and joy is infused into it as well. Because we know that life can feel a bit serious at times, but we manifest, I think, far faster in a far more pleasurable way when we are operating from that space rather than this space. I know this is about identity, but you know what I mean? There's two distinct, different looking cards there. And I know that I would rather go from fun and joy and playfulness rather than feeling trapped. Okay, so let me know how this reading lands. Enjoy the equinox. As I say, this is a time for balance and reset. It's a time for celebration of what has got you to this point in time. So looking at the last 6 months and celebrating everything that you have experienced, where you've put your time and energy, everything, all of the challenges, all of the celebrations, all of the wins, celebrate it all. And this is a time also, we're going to start to prepare to go inwards for obviously getting into winter. That's kind of like this, it's a slow descent into, our inner space, as it were, so that we can reflect and do any necessary work. So that said, it's a perfect time to do a certification where you are expanding your skills, expanding your USP perhaps in your business, but also being able to master a tool, master the magic of this deck, not only for readings, but also for healing as well. So if you want to know more about the certification, there is a link in the comments below, in the description also. There are 4 bonuses, 4 fast action bonuses that actually end today. So they don't all end, but one will get released from the stack, from the bonus stack, and it will become 3. And then next week there will be 2. And then when we get ready to start, there will be just the 1 bonus. So if you want to maximize your return on your energy and investment, today is the last day to sign up for certification with the 4 bonuses that are available. Okay, so love and blessings, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.